I think fullback.
Fullback?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I can't even remember, to be honest. I was only 4 years old when I started. So, my dad, he took me out to go play, and I don't know, man. That's just where I ended up at.
When did you make the shift to playing defense?
Well, I didn't start playing DB until high school, but growing up, I was always a middle linebacker.
Middle linebacker because you were the fastest, meanest dude on the field, or what?
Basically, yeah. So I can just run sideline to sideline, make all the tackles.
I heard you actually played quarterback in high school. Is that right?
Yeah, my senior year I played quarterback.
Did you want to do that?
Not at all.
Why not?
I played it a little bit when I was younger, but, I wanted to play receiver mostly. And then I was already playing good at DB, so it was just like, I don't really care to play quarterback. And we had other guys who were able to do it. Like, the guy who played behind me, he was a sophomore. He was like 6'4", strong arm and all of that, but I guess the coach didn't really trust me because he was younger, so he trusted me, and my teammates, they trusted me, so I was like, I'll do it.
Was that partly because you were the best athlete on the field as well?
Partially. So one day, it was in the off season, but we were in school, and we were out there just playing football, just throwing around, and I was throwing the ball, and the coach just happened to walk out there, and he was like, I didn't know you could throw the ball like that. I'm like, I'm decent. And then I think probably a week or two before spring ball started, he was like, yeah, I want you to play quarterback this year for your last year. I was like, why? I was like, if you wanted me to do that, like, you should have told me this a couple years ago. But I ain't had no problem doing it after he convinced me.
Do you think that helped in terms of schools looking at you during the recruiting process?
Not at all.
No? Why not?
Because I didn't really do much. I only threw for about 500 yards maybe, handed the ball off most of the time. And I had interest from, I think, the Citadel. But other than that, nobody really was looking at me to play quarterback. And then our offense was simple, so it didn't really help me with reading coverages or when I'm on defense, being able to decipher offenses and stuff like that.
What was your recruiting process like then as a defensive back?
It's slow, honestly. I didn't have any major D1 offers, no mid-majors. I had a few FCS offers and a couple D2s, but nothing crazy. I ended up going to Jacksonville University, FCS non-scholarship school.
And just worked your way up?
Yeah, from there I went to junior college and then earned a scholarship, went to UAB, and then they shut the program down at UAB in 2014, and then from there I went to Toledo for my senior year.
You're going all over the place. What was that like for you during your career in college or university?
It was tough. Everybody knows I love being home. That was part of the reason why I went to Jacksonville, just because it was closer to home. And then, after I made the choice to leave, it was like, all right, where do I want to go next? And I was going to walk on to a school in Florida, either like USF, UCF, just because it was close to home. And then one of my teammates from high school, he was like, hey man, I got a friend of mine that plays at a junior college, but it's in California. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go that far. And I just felt like I needed to do something different, step outside of my comfort zone. So once I went there, it was like, all right, I know once I get here, it's going to be tough, just new experience for me personally, being away from all my family and friends. So I think my first day there, I called my dad as soon as I got there. He was like, I want to go home. I told him I don't want to be here no more, I want to go home. Like, as soon as I got in my room, put my bags down, I called him, I was like, I don't want to go back home. And then it was kind of the same thing, just jumping around, just being the new guy everywhere, having to work from the bottom up everywhere. It was always a tough situation, but, it kind of helped me get to where I'm at now, building that resiliency and, just being able to adapt in a lot of numerous situations.
What was it like for you to then go from college, university ball, NCAA, and get even a little bit of a look in the NFL?
My biggest thing, making all those jumps from school to school was still trying to get to the NFL. So all those decisions when I was making them, that was at the forefront of my mind. And I knew that was still my goal. And, I knew it made it a little bit tougher just because, you can get, stigmas of, well, he doesn't fit anywhere, so he keeps jumping around, or he's unhappy, so he leaves the situation, or whatever the case may be. So, but, I just trusted myself, trusted the process, and just kept working and grinding. And, getting the opportunity was, it was the dream that I wanted. So it worked out.
How would you describe your NFL experience?
Up and down, for sure. I had a lingering injury from college when I first went to Dallas, so it kind of flared back up, and I ended up getting cut from there, and then working out throughout the fall with about 6 or 7 different teams, not getting signed anywhere. Ended up getting signed in February to Detroit, and then went through that first year with them on practice squad most of the time, never dressed for a game. And then the next season I ended up getting cut right after camp, brought back on P squad and cut again. So, just being there, it was like, oh my gosh, like it's just a lot back and forth. And then I think October of that year was when I had a trial with Indy, ended up being signed to Indy. I was on practice squad most of that year. And I dressed for 1 game that year maybe, but didn't play that year. So kind of the same, frustrating feelings, just like, when am I going to really get an opportunity to go play? And then that next year was the year I finally ended up playing. I think I played in 10 or 11 games, had some good players on special teams, a couple good players on defense. And, it was so, I felt like, coming in from college, I didn't really have anyone kind of helping me get through it, guiding me, So I felt like just learning through experience was the biggest thing for me in the NFL. And it kind of prepared me for, where I'm at now. And I just tried to take as much information from a bunch of different guys that I was on teams with, the coaches that I, were being coached by, and try to keep it with me as I've been traveling through my journey.
Do you remember the first time that you heard from the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
Yeah, so it was August of 21 when I got cut from Indy. And then about a month later, when I got healthy, my agent called me and he said, and it's a CFL team, they said they're interested in you. I'm going to email you some information to this and that. And that's when I ended up talking to Kyle, probably a day or two after that. And he was like, no pressure, you don't have to make a decision right now, but just know the interest is there and just let me know what you think, and we'll go from there.
You come up to the CFL, show your potential, and in 2022 limited to 4 games because you tore a ligament in your big toe. What was the recovery process like from that injury, and how did you use it to springboard yourself to this next level Rolan Milligan Jr. that we're talking about? Milligan for MOP that we're talking about.
I think, I didn't even want to get the surgery at first, but, they said it can be complications down the road and, bad arthritis and all type of stuff, So once I decided to get the surgery, I think those first 2 weeks were probably one of the hardest times of my career, just not being able to do anything because, all I had to do was sit, I had elevated, with the swelling and still a little bit of bleeding and all type of stuff like that. So those first 2 weeks probably were the toughest part of it. And then after that, I got my stitches out. And once I was able to see my foot and the rest of my leg from inside of the cast, it kind of got me down a little bit just because, it was smaller than my other leg because I couldn't do anything with it at all. So, but I think it was right around Labor Day when I was able to put my foot on the ground, like with some pressure for the first time. And I was like, all right, I know I'll be fine. And it was now just getting through each step of the recovery process. So from putting my foot on the ground to walking, to jogging, to actively moving and cutting, changing direction and all of that stuff. And then once I was able to move, I knew I was gonna be fine and just was ready to work in the off season with my trainer.
How do you feel when you see the campaigns out there from Rider Nation, Milligan for MOP, billboards, the hashtag, all that stuff?
It's fun, man. It's different. I never had a goal personally of being, MOP. So just seeing people, vouch for me, try to campaign for me, just to push the envelope for me, I appreciate it a lot, man. It's different, and I feel the love.
Do you think that this is now possible?
I do, yeah. I think it was C.J. Reeves. He told me that there's never been a defensive player that led in special teams tackles in a major defensive category. So I was like, all right, if I can do that, I know that can give me a chance because it's never been done before. But just seeing what other guys are doing and wanting to compete and be better just because I know I'm competing with a lot of good guys for awards and stuff, that helps push me.
It's usually a quarterback, running back, receiver award.
All right.
Why should a defensive back win it, considering there's never been a full-time defensive back to ever win the CFL's most outstanding player award before?
I just feel like I do a lot, you know, other than just play defense. I play on special teams. I play on punt and I lead the CFL in special teams tackles. You know, I'm not playing on punt and kickoff. So, you know, it's less opportunity the other guys are getting to go make tackles on special teams. And then on defense, I'm playing, you know, the best ball I've ever played in my life. And I think just being consistent and keeping that going is, you know, it's helping give me a chance.
You're dominating 2 of the 3 phases of the game. A lot of times when we look at the offensive players, that's why I wanted to mention it, the quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. But Rolan Milligan Jr. out here dominating 2 of the 3 phases, not just 1. How do you do that game in and game out?
Preparation, you know, from the off season, you know, get my body right, get in shape, being able to sustain throughout games and play a lot of snaps. And then, you know, just throughout the week during practice, just making sure I'm running in practice, running to the ball so I keep my conditioning where it needs to be at. And then, you know, getting in the game, just don't take plays off. Like, you get an opportunity. A lot of guys don't get the opportunity to play, you know, so I've been in that situation before. So now I'm just grateful that I get the opportunity. I don't want to waste that opportunity.
There it is, #Milligan for MLB. Thanks, Rolan.
Appreciate it.